Hello everyone, it's Angie here at Beads and Plenty More. Today with Stampede coming up, I thought I'd show you how to do a beaded bandana, just to jazz up a basic bandana with some beads. So I've got this red one here, and we've used 8mm wood beads and plastic pony beads on this one. And then I've also got a green one here where we went with just the pony beads. You do have to pick a bead that's on the lighter side because the weight of the beads will pull your neck down otherwise. So this pattern, it's 150 beads total. So if you're using 3 colors, maybe 50 beads of each color, and then a basic bandana. So I have a purple one here that I was going to show you how to cut. So what I'm going to do first is just fold it diagonally here, and I want to match up my points here, and then I'm going to fold it over one more time to create my triangle. You do want to pay attention to the point here. You want to make sure that your fabric's folded tightly against each other, because the very first cut we're going to do is a cut where you need it to sit tight against each other to make sure that the one on the inside gets a nice cut. You will find a lot of these bandanas are not entirely square, and that's okay too. If it doesn't match up entirely on the sides, it's fine. Just match your point up. So I've got a rotary cutter here, and I've got a cutting mat and a quilter square here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up from the bottom here. And my very first cut is going to be a fairly generous 1/4 of an inch. So I'm leaving a little bit of extra because this first cut has the inner one as well. And as I said, I want to make sure that that's a good cut as well. Now this particular bandana has a design in it, and this design, this line right here, is about 5 inches up. If you are cutting a bandana and it doesn't have a good line as a reference point that's about 5 inches up, you could take a piece of masking tape and just put a piece of masking tape there so you know where to stop cutting. So I'm just going to take my rotary cutter now and cut up, stopping at that line. So now I've got that first one cut, and here's the inner one. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller than the outer one. So from this point on, I'm going to do 12 more rows that are 1/2 inch. So instead of being the 1/4 inch that we did the first time, these are now 1/2 inch. So I'm just using my previous one as my measure. Now, if you didn't have a quilter square and such, you could just create a little template that's a 1/2 inch wide and probably make that work as well. So I'll keep going and cutting these. Okay, now I've come to the last one here. And on this last one, I want to cut straight up until I'm 2 inches from the top. So I've got 2 inches above here. So when I reach my 2 inch mark, I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. And I'll line up to cut out towards the ends of my ties. So there we go, we got a little triangle that's extra. You could maybe make some earrings with that or something. So here's the bandana all cut up. One thing about these ties, and I didn't talk about those earlier, is you could turn the bandana inside out and stitch along the seam here. I did that on my samples here. It makes it just a little more durable long term, but you can certainly leave them as is and they will work just fine. So as far as putting beads on this, I've got some pony beads here. So we've used 3 beads on each one. And if you get too many more beads than that, you're gonna find it's really, really heavy and maybe not something you wanna wear. Now these, the holes on them are good enough that you can actually just leave them like that and they will work just fine. If you think that there's any chance you're gonna be rubbing up against it or anything like that, you may wanna take the last bead, add a little bit of glue right in here. E6000 works really well for this. And then you just slide the bead up over the wet glue into place. And that's great if you're going dancing or you're wearing stuff that might rub up against it and pull the beads off. But you don't have to do it, and it works just fine without that. So I hope you enjoy your stampede and have a good day.